means you're lost, like nothing's left, like something's crossed. But in this hush I feel the tide of thoughts and dreams I've kept inside. Stillness is an empty air. It holds the weight I couldn't bear. It heals the parts that broke unseen. It lets me breathe. It keeps me clean. No echo, no applause or sound, just gentle light that wraps around a place to pause, to feel, to mend, where wounds can bloom and fears can bend. Stillness is an empty air. It holds the weight I couldn't bear. It heals the parts that broke unseen. It lets me breathe. It keeps me clean. It keeps me clean. You don't have to fill the space. Some things grow in softer pace. Stillness isn't cold or bare. It's where I find that someone cares. Even when I'm all alone, the quiet makes me feel like home.
When all the noise began to fade and silence came like folded shade, I thought I'd break without the sound, but that's where peace was finally found. I was held by the stillness there, by empty rooms and open air. No echo spoke, no mirror light, just me and truth I used to hide. I let the quiet touch my skin and felt the calm seep deep within. It didn't fit, it didn't fight, it only stayed and felt so right. I was held by the stillness there, by empty rooms and open air. No echo spoke, no mirror light, just me and truth I used So now I walk with softer steps and let the silence take what's left. No need to chase, no need to try. The stillness holds, and so do I. I wasn't ready, I was lost. My heart had walls, I knew the cost. But still you stayed, not asking why. Just held the space where I could cry.
You didn't know me anything, but I could see what time might bring. So I just stood without a word and let my silence be your world. You waited without sound or fear. You didn't chase, you just stayed near. And in that hush I found my way to where your quiet love would stay. I never needed you to change. I only hoped you'd feel the same. You never ran, you never begged, just gave me peace I never said.
And now I see the grace it took
to read my heart without a look.
You taught me love can still be loud,
even when it makes no sound.
you waited without sound or fear. You didn't chase, you just stayed near. And in that hush I found my way to where your quiet love would stay. The loudest love is sometimes still a space that bends, a hand that will. You waited soft as morning light. You held me close without a fight. And in your calm I learned somehow to love you in the silence now. Instead of said a single line my heart had bled, tucked in your coat so you might find the words I couldn't leave behind. Folded notes and quiet things, the way I tie your coffee strings, a touch too long, a glance too shy. That's how I said I'm yours, not wired. I packed your lunch with extra care and left my favorite song in there. You never knew, but now you might. My silence always burned so bright. no shout of love, no bold display, just soft confessions day by day. Some hearts don't speak in full-blown skies, they bloom in gestures small and wise, folded notes and quiet things. That's how I gave you all my spring. So if you ever wonder how, it's in the quiet, then and now.
There are doors I could have closed, paths that beg me not to go. But something quiet pulled me in to sit with storms and let them spin. Sometimes I stay when others leave. I sit with pain and let it breathe. It's not because I have no fear, it's just I know I'm needed here. I've seen the urge to walk away, drop the weight and not replay. But strength is choosing not to run, to face the dark and not the sun. Sometimes I stay when others leave. I sit with pain and let it breathe. It's not because I have no fear, it's just I know I'm needed here. You don't have to understand, but staying takes a steady hand. Sometimes I stay not for the praise, but for the quiet in the haze. And if it helps someone to see, then staying's how I choose to be. I saw your eyes across the room. No words exchanged, no need for tune.
But something in the air was clear. You knew I needed you right here.
You didn't ask, I didn't say. Somehow all the noise gave way, and in the pause between the sound, a kind of peace is what we found.
We don't need to speak to know where the love begins to grow. In the hush you pull me near, and everything I need is here. Your presence holds more than your voice. It feels like quiet is a choice.
And every breath you let me take feels like a vow you didn't make.
I hear you best when nothing's said. It's in the tilt of your soft head. No lyrics needed to explain the way you catch my hidden pain. And we don't need to speak to know where the love begins to grow. In the hush you pull me near, and everything I need is here.
Let the world keep making sound. We'll stay where silence wraps us round.
We don't need a single phrase to walk together through the haze. In every breath, in every quest, we're speaking love without a chance. We don't need to speak to know where the love begins to grow. In the hush you pull me near, and everything I need is here.
I stood beside you, heart half spoken. The words were close but still unbroken. I nearly let the moment go, but silence held me soft and slow. I almost said goodbye that night, but something dim still held me tight. The world was loud, but I stayed still, too scared to speak, too weak to will. Your eyes were kind, your hands were near, but everything had changed in here. I watched the words just pass me by, and whispered love instead of why. I almost said goodbye that night, but something dim still held me tight. The world was loud, but I stayed still, too scared to speak, too weak to will. Some hearts don't break in heavy rain, they crack in silence, quiet pain. I almost left, I almost stayed. The line between just softly frayed. But even now I can't deny that night I almost said goodbye.
She doesn't knock, she doesn't shout, she simply walks a quieter route. No glitter steps, no grand parade, just soft enough to make you stay. Hope wears quiet shoes, you see. She sits beside you patiently. No promises, no fireworks, just presence when your spirit, it hurts. She hums a tune you barely hear, but every note can draw you near. She doesn't ask for you to try, she only stays and lets you cry. Hope wears quiet shoes, you see. She sits beside you patiently. No promises, no fireworks, just presence when your spirit hurts. Hope wears quiet shoes so light. She's in the breeze, she's in the night. Not loud but real, not fast but true. And every time she comes to you, soft across the floor. You laughed and leaned against the door. It's been some time and yet I find that moment never left my mind. The books still stacked the way we played. Your scarf still tied in quiet grace. I close my eyes and there we sit, a room untouched but always lit. It's a room we never left, even when the time had swept the wall
walls are gone, but still it stays, a tender ghost of gentle days. We move through cities, change our name, but something in that space remained. It held a silent shape like truth, a kind of love we built in youth. We didn't need a grand goodbye, just let the moment slip and fly. But now and then I hear the sound of that old floorboard creaking down. It's a room we never left, even when the years took breath. It lives inside the way we feel, a place where everything was real. And if you find that room again, I'll meet you there, like way back then. It's a room we never left, carved in silence, softly kept. Even time can't paint it gray. We're still there in our own way. I folded hopes like paper planes, sent them flying past the pain. The sky above looked close then far. I wished on silence, not a star. Paper skies, soft and thin, hold my dreams somewhere within. They might tear, they might bend, but still I send them to the wind. You saw the creases in my hand, never asked me where I land. You only watched the flight begin and let me fall and rise again. Paper skies, soft and thin, hold my dreams somewhere within. They might tear, they might bend, but still I send them to the wind. And if they drift,
never stay. At least they flew, they lost their way. Paper skies above me now. I send my heart, I don't know how, but something in the breaking blue feels like home and feels like true.
You might not see it in my eyes, but something warm still never dies. A spark beneath the heavy days that glows in quiet, stubborn ways. Small fires still burn inside. Those storms have passed and time has dried. They flicker soft, they don't demand, but still they glow beneath my hand. I've lost the need to prove I'm strong, but strength was here all along. In how I bend and how I stay, in flames that never drift away. Small fires still burn inside. Those storms have passed and time has dried. They flicker soft, they don't demand, but still they glow beneath my hand. Not every blaze has to rise. Some just warm and never die. Small fires keep me brave and slow. Through every cold the winds may blow. They light the night not for the show, but just to say I still can go. The fire past, the smoke is thin, but all I see is what had been. I thought it all, it turned to dust, till you reached out with quiet trust.
You held your sorrow like a flame, afraid the world would call it shame. could see what still remained, a little spark that love reclaimed. There's a light beneath the ash, a warmth that time forgot to crash. Though burned and bruised, it still survives, the kind of glow that keeps us alive. You said you lost all you had grown, but embers burn beneath the stone, and I have hands that won't let go of fires you forgot to know.
You spoke in silence, soft and true, and in that hush I came back to. We didn't need to start brand new, just breathe and fan what still came through. There's a light beneath the ash, a warmth that time forgot to crash. Though burned and bruised, it still survives, the kind of glow that keeps us alive. Let the past be what it was, we still have light, because
there's a light beneath the ash, a quiet hope that doesn't flash. But when you hold me close like this, even ruin feels like bliss.
there's a light beneath the ash, a quiet hope that doesn't flash. But when you hold me close like this,
Even ruin feels like bliss.
it rained for days, or maybe years, each drop away, a trail of tears. But then it stopped, if just for breath, and I could feel the life I left in the pause between the rain. I touched my heart without the strain. The world was wet, but I was dry. A single breath, a softer sky. The clouds still hung, they didn't break, but gave me room for my own sake. No thunder rolled, no warning came, just silence calling out my name. In the pause between the rain, I saw must remain. It wasn't long, but it was mine. That quiet stretch of borrowed time. Sometimes the calm is not the end, but just a space where wounds can bend. So when the storms come back again, I'll wait inside the now and then. For in that breath I found my name. The pause between the rain. They say the quiet means you're lost, like nothing's left, like something's crossed. But in this hush I feel the tide of thoughts and dreams I've kept inside. Stillness is an empty air. It holds the weight I couldn't bear. It heals the parts that broke unseen. It lets me breathe. It keeps me clean. No echo, no applause or sound, just gentle light that wraps around. A place to pause, to feel, to mend, where wounds can bloom and fears can bend. Stillness is an empty air. It holds the weight I couldn't bear. It heals the parts that broke unseen. It lets me breathe. It keeps me clean. You don't have to fill the space. Some things grow in softer pace. Stillness isn't cold or bare. It's where I find that someone cares. Even when I'm all alone, the quiet makes me feel like home. I don't recall the words we said, just how your eyes look straight ahead. No questions asked, no answers found, just silence wrapped us all around.
You didn't reach, but still I knew that every pause was something true. We didn't fill the space with sound, still we heard what went around.
When we both were quiet, we were close. No louder proof, no need to boast.
The world was loud, but we were still.
And in that hush we found our will. You held the air like it was glass, afraid to move, afraid it'd pass. But I just stayed, I breathed you in, a calm that echoed from within.
The sky could break, the light could bend, but I believed you'd never end. Not by a vow, not by a sound, but by the way you stayed around. When we both were quiet, we were close. No louder proof, no need to boast. The world was loud, but we were still.
And in that hush we found our will. Some say love must speak to live,
but silence has its ways to give.
when we both were quiet, we were more than any fight, than any war. And though the noise may rise again, I'll hold the quiet where we began.
There's a place I always find when I'm too tired to unwind. It's not a room, it's not a name, but silence knows me just the same. That's where my silence goes to breathe, to mend the thoughts I hide beneath. No need for words, no need for light, just space to feel and be alright. I sit and let the noise decay. The world can wait, I'll stay this way. In the hush I meet my truth, the one I lost, the one I soothe. That's where my silence goes to breathe, to mend the thoughts I hide beneath. No need for words, no need for light, just space to feel and be alright. Some find peace in open skies, I find mine when no one tries. silence always goes.
You speak in half-completed thoughts. I hear the things you think you're not. In every pause, in every breath, I feel the love you never said. I breathe between the lines you leave, where silence teaches me to grieve. You never had to say it clear. I felt your heart was always near. Some stories live in subtle signs. A look, a sigh, a shift in time. Not every truth is loud or bright. Some glow like stars out of sight. I breathe between the lines you leave, where silence teaches me to grieve. You never had to say it clear. I felt your heart was always near. You never wrote the final page, but left the ink in quiet rage. I breathe between what you let show and what you meant. I always know the words may fade and time divides. I carry all you try to hide. I breathe between the lines you leave, where silence teaches me to grieve. You never had to say it clear. I felt your heart was always near.
The world was loud, my steps were slow. My thoughts were things I couldn't show.
But then you opened up your space, and suddenly I found my place.
You didn't ask, you didn't pull, you simply made the silence full. And in that stillness I could breathe. The heaviness began to leave. I feel weightless in your arms, like time forgets to do me harm. No need to speak, no need to try. Just let this quiet hold us high.
I've wandered alone, with tired bones, but now I know I'm not alone.
You meet me here where no one sees. catch my breath with simple ease.
You're not a fix, you're not a cure, but something soft and deeply sure. You hold me like I'm not a fight, but something worthy in the night.
I feel weightless in your arms, like time forgets to do me harm. No need to speak, no need to try. Just let this quiet hold us high. The world can wait, the dark can spin, but I am safe where you begin. So hold me close and let me be exactly what you always see. Not broken, lost, or full of scars, but floating here, weightless in arms. When all the noise began to fade and silence came like folded shade, I thought I'd break without the sound, but that's where peace was finally found. I was held by the stillness there, by empty rooms and open air. No echo spoke, no mirror light, just me and truth I used to hide. I let the quiet touch my skin and felt the calm seep deep within. It didn't fix, it didn't fight, it only stayed and felt so right. I was held by the stillness there, by empty rooms and open air. No echo spoke, no mirror light, just me and truth I used to hide. Some answers live where words don't reach, in every breath they softly teach. So now I walk with softer step and let the silence take what's left. No need to change, no need to try. The stillness holds and so do I.
No one sees me late at night, tugging in my scattered light. I speak to wounds no one has kissed, and count the things I almost missed. But it's the way I hold myself in silent hours without help, the gentle hands I never had are gift to me when days go bad. I used to wait for someone's touch to tell me I was good enough, but now I rock my own regret like lullabies I won't forget. It's in the way I hold myself in quiet strength, in hidden wealth. I am the arms I used to crave, the voice that tells me I am brave. I may not shine the way they do, but in this calm I'm always true. It's in the way I stand again when love feels thin and hearts pretend. I've learned to be my safest place, with quiet hands and softest grace.
You didn't ask, you didn't press, just sat beside my silent mess. No answers came, no big display, but still I felt the weight decay.
I didn't know the perfect line, but somehow you were still just fine. With broken thoughts I couldn't name, you stayed and nothing felt the same.
We were carried by the quiet, where no one needs to try it. Just stillness holding what we hide.
No fear to run, no need to fight.
You read the pauses in my breath, the truths I choked, the words I left, and in your hush I heard it clear that someone real was truly near.
I didn't fix, I didn't lead, just sat and let you gently plead, because I knew the soundless space can sometimes be the healing place. We were carried by the quiet, where no one needs to try it. Just stillness holding what we hide. No fear to run, no need to fight.
The loudest love is sometimes calm. It doesn't push, it only palms. So when you feel like no one sees,
Come rest inside the silent breeze. No need to speak, no need to cry. We'll be carried by the quiet. We'll be carried by the quiet. can feel it in the air. Something shifting, something there. The clouds don't cry, they only stay. Like feelings that won't drift away. The way rain waits, so still, so slow. It doesn't rush, it just lets go. And in that hush I find my place. A softer world, a gentler pace. I used to speak before I felt. Now I pause, let silence melt. Not every tear is meant to fall, but when it does, it says it all. The way rain waits, so still, so slow. It doesn't rush, it just lets go. And in that hush I find my place. A softer world, a gentler pace. The skies don't break, they simply bend and start to heal what we can mend. The way rain waits becomes my guide. I hold the calm I used to hide, and let it come and let it stay. Like quiet storms that show the way. She doesn't ask, she doesn't shout. She simply shows what love's about. A gentle hand, a steady breath. She pulls you back from near to death. She moves like morning, soft and slow, lighting places pain won't go. No need to shine, she simply is. The quiet strength that hope can give. She hums a song no one has heard. She heals without a single word. In silent steps she carries a light and makes the darkness feel less tight. She moves like morning, soft and slow, lighting places pain won't go. No need to shine, she simply is the quiet strength that hope can give. She's not a storm, she's not a fire, but every soul she meets climbs higher. She moves like morning, just appears and gently wipes away your fears. You never knew what peace could be till she moves softly into me.
I saw your light across the space, not blazing loud but soft with grace. It didn't ask, it didn't pull, but in its glow I felt more full.
I didn't know you saw me shine. I thought I flickered out of line, but somehow in your quiet gaze I found a path through shadowed haze.
We never met with rushing feet, but somewhere slow our edges meet. Two lights in the dark, not lost, not fighting flames, not counting cost. We're steady flames that never clash, just glowing soft with every flash. Two lights in the night, we guide without the need to run or hide. And though we burn in different skies, we still reflect in each other's eyes. I thought that silence meant alone,
but you proved quiet can't be known.
your presence like a gentle spark that doesn't burn, just leaves a mark.
I didn't come to change your fire, I only watched and grew inspired. And now I stand not close but near,
And know your light will still be here. Two lights in the dark, we stay. Though miles of fears might drift our way, we're not the kind to fade or fall. We simply shine through it all. Two lights with a quiet spark, still finding warmth inside the dark. And even if we never touch, this quiet light remains enough. In the dark, we know we don't need more than what we show. And even in the space between, we burn with something calm unseen. Two lights in the dark, we know we don't need more than what we show. And even in the space between, we burn with something calm unseen.
didn't try to change the air. You didn't speak to fill the care. You sat beside my restless mind and let the silence be kind. You never pushed the dark away. You simply let it softly stay. And in that space I used to fear, you made it safe to keep you near. No loud confessions, no demand, just peace held gently in your hand. Quiet enough to stay, not run, when all the noise had come undone. You didn't fix, you didn't sway, you just remained and chose to stay. Quiet enough to know my soul, not try to patch or make me whole, just breathing with me through the gray. That's love, that's quiet enough to stay. You didn't name what hurt my chest. You only let my thoughts find rest. No questions thrown, no lines to learn, just steady warmth I didn't earn. The world had taught me love is loud, a performance to a cheering crowd. But you arrived without a stage and turned my fear into a page. A kind of calm that knew its place was written gently on your face. Quiet enough to stay through pain. I walk away when skies would rain. You didn't force the night to end. You let it breathe, you let it mend. Quiet enough to stay unshook. You read me like an open book. No page too torn, no word too frayed. You simply stayed and never swayed. Some leaving signs of storm or fire, but you stayed near and reached in higher. Quiet enough to still remain. Through all I hid, through all I feigned, you showed me love can simply be a quiet vow to never flee.
You didn't speak, but I still heard the quiet meaning in your words. wasn't said, it wasn't shown. But in that pause I wasn't alone.
I didn't reach, but still you stayed. In all the silence that we made, you didn't need to cross the line. You let the stillness be just fine.
Some love exists in quiet ways. It fills the gaps that distance lays. The space between us isn't far. It holds the truth of who we are. No need to touch, no need to name. This kind of love is not a game. The space between us breathes and grows. It knows the things we never chose. Yet still we sit, yet still we trust. In all the space between us. I used to think I had to try to speak it all or say goodbye. But now I know that standing still can say much more than what we will.
I don't expect a perfect word. The truest things are rarely heard. But when you look and gently stay, the quiet takes my fear away.
The space between us soft and wide is where our gentlest hearts reside. It holds our hurt, it holds our grace. It holds the time we both embrace. The space between us speaks with care of all we've shared and all we bear. And in that breath I always see that silence is an absence's key. The space between us brings us near. It doesn't shout, it doesn't steer. It only asks we sit and stay and hold the quiet in our way.
River doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't scream, it doesn't boast. But every ripple tells a tale of hearts that broke and learned to sail. I sat beside the water's edge, a Afraid to cross, afraid to pledge. But in its hush I heard it say, you'll find yourself if you just stay. The quiet is an empty space. It's where the truth will show its face. Still waters speak in softer tones. They echo through my skin and bones. They tell me I'm allowed to feel even the things I tried to seal. Still waters speak not loud or fast. They bring the future from the past. And when I listen with no fear, I finally hear what brought me here. The world keeps shouting through the day, but stillness finds a quieter way. Not every lesson wears a crown. Some just arrive when we sit down. I held my breath for far too long, thinking silence meant I don't belong. But now I know the hush I need was always trying to help me breathe. In all that calm I came to see, stillness can speak and set me free. Still waters speak beneath the rush of moments made to break and hush. They teach me how to gently be a softer, clearer kind of me. Still waters speak where I once drowned. Now I can float, now I am found. Their steady sound is what remains when all that's loud just leaves me drained. Don't fear the quiet when it comes. It holds the space we're running from. And if you stop and let it near, you'll hear your name and what you fear. Still waters speak in honest waves. They don't demand, they never crave. They only ask we sit and stay and feel what's real alone.